I found 80 unread text messages to my grandmother on her phone after she died. The last one was from me, sent 10 minutes after her heart stopped. My grandmother raised me after my mother disappeared when I was 4. She never had much, but her tiny apartment was always warm, and somehow she stretched her social security check to cover ballet lessons I desperately wanted. She kept the same flip phone for 15 years, refusing upgrades even when I offered to buy her a smartphone. "This one works fine, Lily. No need to waste your money," she'd say, patting my hand. Last month, she passed away peacefully in her sleep at 82. The doctors said her heart simply stopped. I was at work when it happened, completely unaware that the woman who taught me everything about strength had quietly slipped away that evening. Not yet knowing she was gone, I sent her my daily text. "Hey Graham, bringing dinner at 6. Made your favorite chicken soup from scratch. Love you." When I arrived at her apartment, I found 2 police officers waiting. Their pitying expressions told me everything before they spoke a word. One officer handed me her phone, saying they'd found it beside her bed, the battery nearly dead. 3 days later, sitting alone in her apartment surrounded by photo albums and half-packed boxes, I charged her old flip phone to look for contacts I should notify. That's when I discovered something that broke my heart all over again. Her message inbox showed 80 unread texts. Every single one was from me for the past 6 months. She hadn't been able to read any of my messages. The confusion of technology had finally overwhelmed her, but she never told me. Instead, she continued our conversations as if nothing had changed, responding to my voice calls with perfect recall of details I'd only shared in texts. "Did you win that big client presentation?" she'd ask, though I'd only mentioned it in a text. "That blue cardigan looked beautiful on you," she'd say. Untracing a photo I'd texted her from a store dressing room. She'd been memorizing my schedule from our morning calls, asking careful questions, piecing together what she couldn't see in my messages, all to avoid admitting she could no longer navigate the technology. The final message in her inbox was mine, sent at 2:47 p.m. the day she died. "Hey Graham, bringing dinner at 6. Made your favorite chicken soup from scratch. Love you." The medical examiner estimated she had passed at 2:37 p.m. exactly 10 minutes before my text. My message had arrived as she was leaving the last in a long queue of words she would never read that night. I sat on her bed and scrolled through months of one-sided conversations, updates about my job, funny stories about my roommate, photos of sunsets I thought might make her smile, all seen only by me. But as I read through them, I realized they hadn't gone completely unheard. She had found ways to be present in my life, even when technology failed her. She had listened more carefully, remembered more details, asked more questions, paired all to maintain the connection she couldn't keep through text. I still send her messages sometimes, not because I believe in ghosts or heaven, but because 18 years of sharing my day with her isn't a habit easily broken. Some people leave before they're gone. My grandmother fought to stay connected until the very end.